Hi there. This is Dr. John Whitcomb talking about the diabetes risk assessment. Ever heard of that before? The DRI from LabCorp. It's been out for about a year now. You should know about it. The definition of diabetes has been emerging for a while. And if you actually measures of insulin resistance, you find something like 90% of Americans are somewhat insulin resistant on the journey to becoming diabetic. And the definition of diabetes has changed over the last couple thousand years. Hippocrates defined it as sweet urine that ants came to. We first defined it as a blood sugar over 126 measured twice, but glucose bounces up and down very quickly all the time. And if you just have 4 scoops of ice cream, you can get yours up that high probably. But we've had a various set of changes. So we, first of all, switched from blood sugar to the hemoglobin A1C, which is the percent of hemoglobin molecules with an extra glucose stuck on them. Red cells live 100 days, so the hemoglobin lives 100 days, so it's exposed to the variable changes in glucose over 100 days, the higher your glucose. So in effect, the A1C is your average blood sugar over the last 100 days. But even that, the Institute of Medicine said 6.4 is the definition of diabetes, but that's an arbitrary line. You actually have increased mortality all the way down to an A1C of about 5.5, 5.6. And basically, we've known for quite a while that blood sugars over 86 are any number over 86 shows an increased level of heart disease. Well, that is why 80% of us or 90% of us have some insulin resistance. So what's the DRI? The DRI is moving the next step forward. We've had the HOMA-IR, which measures your insulin and glucose levels, and it's a simple formula. You can get a website. So HOMA, HOMA-IR, is if you have an insulin level, it's a moderately predictive level. But the DRI is the next move forward, and that's much more significant. And the DRI shows, looking at the size of and the variability of the size of LDLs and HDLs in your lipid particles, combined with the branch chain amino acids. And the net effect is that ends up being more predictive than anything we've developed so far. And there's a huge variability in that, but that now means you can look forward and say, what's your risk going forward? Because there are many people who are overweight and they have an insulin level of 25 and 26, but their blood sugar is still relatively controlled. What they don't realize is that your pancreas gland is only given a certain fixed amount of insulin to make over a lifetime. And if your level is 26, you're burning it faster, you will run out of insulin when you turn 50 or 55 or 60. And that's what we're seeing in America. Folks get to be mid-50s and they start going on blood sugar pills, and then they get to be late 60s and they get on insulin, and then their kidneys fail in their 70s and they go on dialysis, and then they get ulcers in their feet. They spend the rest of their lives with an amputation, 50,000 amputations a year. Knowing that you're at risk is a useful thing. You want to know your DRI. The Diabetes Risk Assessment from LabCorp. You can buy it for yourself on Life Extension. If you're a woman, you want below 40. If you're a man, you want below 50. But what you really want is one that's in the 25s and 30s. You don't want 80 and 90. DRI, learn it. It's your best risk going forward of your risk of diabetes.